season on the line, 4th and 11. Butka looking downfield, throwing, incomplete, broken up at the 10-yard line. And Oak Ridge is headed to the NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 5 Championship game.
There's one in the flat. Good catch that time by Ransom. Ransom with a lot of room. And a good block by Delonzo down the field. And Ransom is gone. 57 yards to the house. 2-2.
Swung on and miss. Strike 3. St. James Smithtown has done it. They are the 2025 New York State Little League Baseball Tournament champions.
Drops back, throws all the way to his right. Has a man down the field, and he's got him! First play of the drive, touchdown, New York Green Wave!
Sanioki's season on the line. Goal to go from the 2. Kyles looks to run with it. Pitches it to Sip. He grabs it. He's in for the touchdown.
The final 25, and they're neck and neck. Kane looks like they have just a dash of a lead. Salisbury taking first. What a race.
Good morning, everybody, and we welcome you back to the 2026 10 and Under East Regional Softball Championships. We are live here at Great Kills Little League. A little bit of an earlier start this morning here. It's 8:27 here. Our starts for the last 2 days have been at 9 a.m. for these early games. But my name is Joe Calabrese, and I will be on the call here alongside my broadcast colleague and partner for today, Cameron Williams. And Cam, you haven't been here all week, so we're going to catch you up to speed here as player introductions here start at the major field at Great Kills Little League here on Staten Island. But Cam, very briefly, tell everybody at home, who you are, and are you ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's softball season here, Joe. We're out here bright and early, 8:30 a.m. start here for this game. Like you introduced me, Cameron Williams. Glad to be back on a call with you, Joe. I think the last time we were on a game was hockey.
So
that was a good time.
That's right. It's always a good time with you.
But now we're back to softball.
Back to softball. The weather is, for now, it is holding out. It is cloudy out. It's slightly cooler than it has been the first 2 days. The first 2 days at this time, we had really, really gorgeous days. So a little bit different here. Again, a little cooler. It's cloudy out, but the rain is holding off. The rain should be holding off throughout the duration of the rest of the morning and into the afternoon, which bodes well for each of these teams. Let's get you ready here as player introductions are on the field, so you can probably see that in the background. We have the Milford Little League from Delaware playing the Hughesville Little League team from Maryland. Now, if you've been following the coverage of the tournament here over the past couple of days on the PDF Sports Network, the East Regionals here have been essentially divided into 2 subregions, the Mid-Atlantic and the New England region. For here on the major field, a majority of the coverage that I have been a part of has been with the Mid-Atlantic teams. So to get everybody updated here quickly from scheduling purposes, as of right now, this is an elimination game. The 2 8:30 games here that we have are 2 elimination games. The 2 teams that finished the highest in pool play were the team from Pennsylvania, who finished 3-0, and the team from New York, represented here by Great Kills Little League. They went 2-1. So essentially, they are the top 2 seeds, so to speak. So those teams earned buys, and they will be playing in that 10:30, 10:45 spot, again, depending on when these early games end. From that point on, we had the New Jersey team. They went 2-1. On the other field, on the senior minor field, they will be playing the Little League from D.C., and in this game, we will have the Maryland team, who also went 2-1 in pool play against Delaware, who went 1-2 in pool play. So the player introductions here are almost over. We do have lineups here for you, so we'll get to that following the national anthem. But let's give you the pitching matchup for this game. For the Delaware side of things, it will be Grace Kenton in the circle. And for Maryland, it will be number 22, Yessie Portillo. Now, just a couple of notes here as Cam went down to field level to get the lineups before. A couple of pronunciation fixes For the Maryland side, it is Yessi Portillo. We've been saying Portillo, so apologies there. And number 44, Willow Grote. So I believe on one of the initial roster sheets that we were given, there was not the R in her name. So the players are
though.
Yep.
Greatest of all time.
No, of course. So the players are out on the field, lined up in the infield. The national anthem is getting ready to play. So we will step aside momentarily. When we come back, we will give you the lineups, and we will be ready for first pitch. So, Cam, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All
Absolutely.
right, had to ask you one more time. All right, stick with us here on the PDF Sports Network. The national anthem is coming up, and you are watching coverage of the 10 and under East Regional Softball Championships live here in Great Kills Little League on Staten Island. And we are back. It was the playing of our national anthem here. Both teams ecstatic to get this one started. And once again, we are now past the pool play portion of our week. And every game that you will see from this point on is going to be an elimination format. So, Cam, this is the first time that you've been doing this week. Obviously, you weren't here during pool play, so you don't have too much familiarity with the teams. So what are you expecting from the – first we'll do the Maryland side, because, again, they are the team that finished 2-1 in pool play. Essentially, we'll consider them the higher seed for this matchup. Again, if you're going 1-6, they were the 4 seed, and they are – going out in the field first as the number 5 seed Delaware, the team that finished 1-2 in pool play, will be up to bat first.
Yeah, well, of course, obviously, an elimination game, it brings a whole different mode of energy for both teams. At this point in time, at this rate, in this tournament, records don't matter anymore. So essentially, teams are 0-0. It really doesn't matter, and it can go anyone's way. All you need is a chip and a chair, and that's what Delaware done. But Maryland, they have been very good. They've been able to hit, and they've been able to get out of innings while they're in the field. We've seen a little bit of trouble on Delaware's side, which has got them into some trouble, some long innings. But at this rate, I'm sorry, Joe, it is 0-0. Records do not matter going forward. It is now just if you can hit and get out of innings quick. Save pitching, get in with as little pitches as possible, and you'll be fine. Because each team will find their way to get some hits and knock around some runners in. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as Maryland can continue to hit and score runs and play fast and solid defense and get their dugout back in each half inning, they'll have no trouble competing well versus solid Delaware team.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So once again, as we set up the pitching matchup for you, number 22, Yessi Portillo. So once again, we'll make a note of that, the pronunciation adjustment here. She will be in the circle for Maryland, opposed by Grace Kenton of Delaware. Had the opportunity to see Kenton pitch once already on this field. And we are set to go. And once again, this is our first elimination game here on a Tuesday, July 28th. And we are underway with ball 1. Ball skips in. Second straight pitch to start. That skips into the leadoff batter, Quinn Albert, for ball 2.
That's what you got to like to see here. Working an at-bat. Don't get too crazy. You're up 2-0. You're the first batter. See a lot of pitches here.
Absolutely. That one gets to the backstop here for ball 3. So 3 balls to start for Portillo.
And I'm sure the take sign is on after 3 balls in the dirt thus far. You want to get that leadoff runner on and start running around the bases.
Absolutely. That's a strike. A little bit low, but did cross right around the knees for a strike, so 3-1. Seen some really good pitching here over the course of the first couple of days.
Strikes win you games.
Ball's fouled off.
Throw it in the zone, and your defense will make plays for you.
Uh, 3-2. It's fouled off, so we'll do it again. While we have a moment here, we would like to thank the sponsors for this year's tournament. First, ShopRite, and second, Nationwide Bus Charter. And that pitch is knee high for the second time in the at-bat. So Albert goes down on strikes.
And what a job by Portillo there. Gets down in the count 3-0 right from the jump and then works back 3 strikes in a row.
So Grace Kenton in the batter's box here. Number 4, the second batter here in this Delaware lineup. Takes ball 1. Second straight time that Portillo starts out with the ball. Comes back quickly, getting Kenton to foul it off straight back. Count levels off at 1-1. That ball is played to the field to the second baseman, and that's a high hop, and that's going to go past the right fielder here for a base hit. Kenton ends up on second. She makes a turn and goes to third. She's in there standing. So initially that play, it will go down as a hit. Made a point here a couple times over the course of the first couple of days here, so we'll do it, again, once per game through the next game that I will have here with Cam. The major field here at Great Kills Little League. The infield is turf, just about a yard or so beyond the infield, and then we have grass and gravel up until the walls here along the warning track here. So usually plays that are hit hard on the infield will take large bounces, as we've seen a couple times here over the course of the first couple of days. Count very quickly 0-2 here as Portillo is working fast. Runner on third, 1 out here for Delaware. Looking to make some noise early. And that'll be strike 3. So 2 strikeouts here from Portillo.
She's done a good job at getting down in the count, but then coming back just like that, facing adversity. They get a triple, really probably a double, but reached on the air. We're really just this hard outfield, hard to play. And she comes back and gets a 3-pitch strikeout.
She bounces that in there for ball 1. So it was Kennedy Zook. She was the pitcher for Delaware in their first game here at the East Regional Championships. And now the cleanup hitter for Delaware, Marley Clendaniel, number 6, into the batter's box now. She takes the first 2 pitches for 2 balls.
That was a really good take there. Ball seemingly almost went down into the zone, but she watched it hit the dirt almost. Good take there.
Well, there's no dirt in the infield because it's turf.
You're right.
But that's
there.
okay.
You're
That's
right
okay.
there.
No big deal.
We got everything covered here. We have
know,
turf, dirt,
right.
and the gravel.
We know exactly what you were getting at. So the viewers at home definitely aware of that. Clendaniel stays ahead in the count now, 3-1. Got to think that she's going to at least get something close and available to hit, especially with a Grace Kenton as the runner on third here with 2 outs. She swings through that one.
That was a good cut there. Just a tad late, but that was a healthy hack for a 3-1 swing. She knew she was going to get a pitch in the zone, and she did, and she just missed it. Be careful.
The 3-2 is fouled off to the right side towards the home dugout, which is occupied by Maryland, so we'll do it again.
She's got a very powerful swing. She's getting her hands through the zone and whipping that barrel through the zone. If she connects here, it could go a long way.
And Clendaniel swings through that one for strike 3. So it is Portillo who strikes out the side to end the top half of the first inning. And Grace Kenton stranded at third base. Maryland coming up to bat here in the bottom half of the first inning. This is Joe Calabrese along with Cam Williams, and you're watching coverage of the 10 and under East Regional Softball Championship live here on the PDF Sports Network.
When it comes to sports, why be good when you can be legendary? At Legend Sporting Goods in Brooklyn, we service the community with only the best custom apparel, embroidery, and service, specializing in youth sports, so that the leaders of today become the legends of tomorrow. We're proud to support all of this week's great athletes and invite everyone to check us out and make us a part of your team. Come see why Legend Sporting Goods is in a class by itself. Visit us online or call us now.
And we are back here for the bottom half of the first inning. Once again, it is Grace Kenton, number 4 in the circle for Delaware here. We'll get you the Maryland lineup here as we wait for them to step into the batter's box. Leading off will be the shortstop, number 3, Reagan Wood. Batting second, playing second, will be number 1, Aubrey Bledsoe. Batting third, the center fielder, number 99, Blake Herbert. Batting cleanup, one of the extra hitters here, the only extra hitter here today in the Maryland lineup, number 25, Lane Rollins. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 13, Harper Quaid. She was in the circle pitching yesterday for this Delaware team, batting for this Maryland team. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 33, Ava Page. Batting seventh, the pitcher, number 22, Yessi Portillo. Batting eighth, playing left field, number 44, Willow Grote. Once again, apologies for pronouncing it Goat, even though Cam made an astute observation there. Goat is not necessarily so bad, but the correct version is Grote, G-R-O-H-T.
In the right context, it's good.
That's right. Batting ninth will be Adeline Homburg behind the plate, number 7, and batting 10th, the right fielder, number 6, Lila Wood.
And a solid play there. Had to deal with some spin over at first base.
Absolutely.
The tag. Sometimes those in-betweeners are hard, and then when you get some spin on it, especially on turf, you never know which way it's going to bounce. But in that turn, it worked well.
Absolutely. So I believe it was 2 pitches, 1 quick out. Kenton starts here with the ball high to Bledsoe, count 1-0. And that one bounces in there low for ball 2. Ball skips in there for ball 3. So for the first time, it is Kenton working behind in the count. See if she could throw a couple strikes. There's 1. The simple strike. Let's see if she could throw another one here. It's Bledsoe here who swings through. So from 3-0 to 3-2.
Following the same MO as Portillo here as she works a 3-0 and then gets back 2 strikes in a row.
And that'll bounce in there for ball 4. So it is Bledsoe who takes first with the walk.
Now it's free baseball that can end up killing some teams sometimes. When you start giving up walks, you don't want it to combobulate.
Right.
If that makes sense. You don't want it to keep adding and adding. You get free bases because free bases turns into free baseball, which turns into free runs.
That's right. We've seen that happen multiple times here as that ball gets back to the backstop and it allows Bledsoe to take second base. So the second baseman for Maryland ends up on second base here. Another ball bounces. And the same results here. So Bledsoe on 2 pitches, consecutive pitches that reach the backstop. She's able to go from first to second and second to third.
That's more that free baseball talk that you want to minimize as much as those as possible, especially in close, tight games that this game will end up being.
I believe that was a ball, and indeed it is. Scoreboard operator, again, you can't really see that on the screen, but slightly delayed here. Now, this is going to be interesting. Let's see. Okay. So it is Herbert who was hit by the pitch. What was interesting is you heard that little clank noise, right?
That's what I thought it might have hit the bat.
I was going to say, I thought it might have hit the bat.
Especially from our view, we can't tell too much, but good thing that I guess it was the helmet. That's better, well, at least in their case, better than the helmet, or better than the bat.
So for everybody who is listening and watching at home, and we thank you for joining us here on the PDF Sports Network so far, where we are set up here is elevated in right field, down the right field line, towards the inside where the foul pole side is, just beyond the bleachers. So it is the home dugout, it is the bleachers, and then it is us where we're set up on the deck over here. So that one skipped in there for ball number 1-2, Lane Rollins. Did not skip past the catcher enough to allow Bledsoe to score. But yeah, to complete the statement, the vantage point that you see where our camera angles are is very similar to the look that we have for the game. Will look like it was in there for ball 2, and that it is correct. So Lane Rollins here, 2 straight balls to start. Bledsoe on third, Herbert on first. That is a strike to Rollins, so the count goes to 2-1.
Got to keep filling up that zone and let your defense make some plays here. Minimize the free baseball.
That's another strike, so the count evens out at 2-2.
Kenton working back yet again.
And that ball is skied just at the edge of the infield. It was neither Macy Durham nor Kennedy Zook who was able to get to that. It's going to go down as an RBI single for Lane Rollins. Bledsoe scores. Herbert, because the ball was hit so high and essentially in that area towards the edge of the infield at the cusp of the outfield turf grass area is no girls land. So Herbert ends up on third, Rollins ends up on first with the RBI single, and we have our first run of the game. Maryland is up 1-0, and that'll be a swinging strike to the fifth hitter here in this Maryland lineup, Harper Quaid.
Yeah, Kenton is continuing to fill up the zone, but keeps getting these hard plays in the field.
Will once again go to the backstop.
And they called that one a foul ball.
They call it a foul tip. Okay.
Another close one where it looks like it might have hit her wrist, but it might have hit the bat.
That was close, and I had the same read initially. That's a strike. That'll be a swinging strikeout here. So it is Harper Quaid who goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning. But Lane Rollins takes second. So big shout out to our guy, Stefan. Again, it's spelled like Stefan, S-T-E-F-A-N, but pronounced Stefan. He's doing an unbelievable job as the public address announcer behind home plate, and he has been doing that since Sunday, and he's great.
He's got a good voice.
He's got a great voice. Got the Bob Shepard in him. You know, no disrespect to Mets fans here, who are well supported on Staten Island, but over here is still kind of Yankees country as that ball is foul tipped by Ava Page, number 33, the sixth batter for the Maryland lineup. She is quickly behind in the count, 0-2.
You'd love to see her poke one out into the outfield and get both these runners in for a 3-0 lead for Hughesville.
And for Delaware fans, they're hoping Grace Kenton can make a pitch, and she does there. She gets the strike call on the black on the inner half of the plate as Ava Page goes down looking. Maryland strands 2 and through 1. Here at Great Hills Little League on Staten Island, it is Maryland with a 1-0 lead over Delaware as we head into the top of the second inning. Keep it here, live on the PDF Sports Network.
K&S Industrial is your all-in-one supply and tool store for commercial, industrial, and domestic industries. A leader in HVAC supply stores, K&S provides various building and maintenance supplies for office buildings, industrial plants, schools, homes, and more. We also specialize in getting our customers hard-to-find items. If you're looking for HVAC supply stores that also offer anything else you might need, look no further than K&S Industrial. If they make it, we'll get it. K&S Industrial.
And we are back here for the start of the second inning. Again, it was Delaware. Did not score in the top half of the first inning. Maryland came back with 1 run. However, they did strand runners on second and third. We'll see if that comes back to nip them as this game goes on.
Yeah, they were able to get a lot of traffic on the bases. They ended up getting a clutch hit there. One of those in-betweeners again. Kenton fighting. She had 2 that inning. The one that's right on the cusp of the outfield, just like you said, but kind of no girls land. You have 3 fielders all around, but it's just so high, and it's hard to read the angle. Who's going to get it? Ended up falling, and it worked well for Maryland.
You don't know if that ball is leaving the infield.
Nope.
You don't know if it's reaching the outfield.
And it's one of those hard ones, too. Second and shortstop got to run out. They got their backs to the ball. Center's coming in. She's far out there. It's just those in-betweeners that ended up boding well for Maryland there.
That's right. I believe it is Peyton Bell in the box here, starting in center fielder. She was one of those 3 fielders who had difficulty locating that RBI single from Lane Rollins in the bottom half of the first inning. She quickly gets ahead in the count 2-0 to Maryland pitcher Yessi Portillo.
So we've seen this so far. Basically, Portillo and Kenton alike, they kind of get themselves behind in the count, and then they're like, we gotta we got to turn the gas on. We got to stop pumping the brakes, and we're filling up the zone.
That's right. So that looks like a strike.
It's like they get to 3-0. It's like no more messing around.
That's right.
I'm filling it up.
Count 3-1 to Peyton Bell. And that ball will be high for ball 4.
And now that is a huge leadoff base runner for Delaware there. They need that. They need that fire right off the bat. It puts pressure on Maryland here. Now you got to make a play. You got to throw strikes and play solid because you don't want this to keep adding up.
So the right fielder, Julie Mumford, steps into the batter's box. Ball 1. Made note of this a couple times. Some players here with some pink helmets and pink bats, pink cleats. Looking sharp.
I'm loving it.
Some of the umpires on Sunday, one of the crews, it was just that one particular crew. I forgot what game it was, but they had the pink umpire shirts.
I have one of those. You go all out when I umpire, Joe.
That's right.
Camo and all.
And that ball is hit to the second baseman over her head. And that's going to land in right field for a base hit. So we have a wide turn over there at third. Again, it'll be Bell who goes back to the base. Mumford singles.
And a beautiful hit there, going the other way, right over the second baseman's head. And then I like the aggressiveness actually over at third base. Coach was trying to get a read how that ball was going to come in from the outfield or second base. Luckily, Maryland, they made a nice play there, so it held the runner at third, but that's very aggressive, and that'll win you ball games.
Absolutely. So nobody out. Runners on the corners here for Delaware as they're threatening. As, who was that? Mumford takes second base, so Mumford and Bell on second and third. Two runners in scoring position here.
No outs as well.
Nobody out. As I said, count levels off at 1-1. It is Macy Durham, the second baseman, seventh batter in the Delaware lineup here. And that's a healthy cut.
Goes up swinging, and then softball, those rise balls, they really get you. And I know talking to a lot of players at any age level, it doesn't matter, professional, semi-pro, college, high school, or little league, those balls look so juicy when you're in there and it's coming up in the zone and you just want to take a hack at it.
And she did the same thing again, and that was close.
That was a good pitch.
That was about letters high in that borderline area. I thought she was going to get punched out, Macy Durham. She did not, so she evens the count, 2-2. And that little drop pitch crosses initially over the knees. Macy Durham looks at strike 3. And with that, Portillo gets the first out of the top half of the second inning.
See, sometimes we can't really see the in or the outside of the zone. We can definitely see up and down. But sometimes we don't really know, especially from this vantage point, where the inside and outside corner is. But as we start to continue to go through this game, we'll see how this umpire is calling and how we can call it and see it from here as well.
So Addison Bauer swings through that for strike 1. The left fielder batting 8th here for Delaware. Yeah, we've had some couple tweaks to their lineup. Julie Mumford ended up batting a little bit higher in the lineup than she has the last couple of days. Bauer fouls that one off into the netting above the Maryland dugout. On the first base side, so the count quickly goes to 0-2. Portillo would love to have an out here on this pitch. That rise ball comes in high, that time definitively above the letters, as Bauer takes the first ball of the at-bat, count 1-2. Bauer fights that off, fouls it straight back.
That's 2 hacks now. That just looks oh so healthy. And if she's looking to hit to the right side of the field. It looks like 2 foul balls right over there.
Right.
She had the one that just barely went foul.
Right.
I think she might be looking over here. This outfielder in right is creeping in.
Not quite in the same spot, but once again, another foul ball, so we'll do it again on 2-2. But yeah, it's a good point. The Julie Mumford single Again, right over, just went beyond the second baseman over there, Aubrey Bledsoe. As that pitch looked a little bit low, but once again, the same strikeout pitch as the last at-bat comes in over the plate over the knees. So Portillo has another strikeout, 5 through 2 so far, through almost 2.
That's a very consistent strike call that both teams are going to have to learn and adapt.
That's right. So we have one of the extra hitters here. It looks like Logan Bell. She gets ahead in the count 1-0. And for Portillo, who initially had runners on second and third base behind her to deal with nobody out, she's now one pitch away from getting out of this. Pop up to the third baseman. And Ava Page isn't quite able to get that. It's going to bounce directly in front of her. So Delaware will they'll score their first run of the game.
And now that is a huge run. You had second and third with no outs. You get 2 strikeouts. It's like, oh, man, we're not going to cash in. And luckily, Bell came in there. Nice swing, kind of an in-betweener inside, little spin ball on the infield, and it worked out just perfect for him.
Yes, it did. So that was an RBI single from Logan Bell, and it is now Gianna Rivera, number 17, in the batter's box with an 0-1 count. She swings through that one. So quickly 0-2. Once again, just like the last at-bat, Portillo here, one more pitch away from getting out of this for Maryland. Like to keep this a 1-1 game heading into the bottom of the second. As that pitch a little bit high. Again, in that borderline area is right over the letters. But a little bit too high.
Umpire's steady on not giving that one. He seems to like the low one.
Right.
So like I said, you're going to have to adapt to his zone.
That's right. That one came in north of the letters for sure.
But that's actually a very solid 1-2 pitch there. Don't throw it in the zone because you got runners on. Try to get him chasing. You're up in the count. You have pitches to waste.
So once again, runners at second and third again for Delaware here as that ball skips in.
Very short backstop here. You don't want to get too aggressive right now. You don't really have to. But as the game continues and as we get to the later innings, you might start seeing some runners take a shot there, or at least try to get into a rundown, a pickle action, try to get that run in.
And that'll be a swing and a miss for strike 3. Gianna Rivera goes down. 6 strikeouts here for Yessi Portillo through the first 2 half innings. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It is Delaware 1 and it is Maryland 1. You're watching coverage of the 10 and under East Regional Softball Championships here. Elimination time here at Great Hills Little League on Staten Island. Keep with us here at the PDF Sports Network for the bottom of the second inning.
The Staten Island Ferry Hawks are proud to be a sponsor of this year's New York State Little League Championship, because one championship organization deserves another. Come check out another amazing season with us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark with great ticket and group deals, theme nights, and fireworks displays. Good luck to all of our teams this week from your friends at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. We'll see you at the game.
And we're back here for the bottom of the second inning. Good job by Delaware there.
Very huge to get that run and not up this game at 1. You gave up the run in the bottom half of the inning in the first, and you come right back out swinging. You get some traffic on, apply the pressure on Maryland there, and Delaware comes away with a run with 2 outs.
Yeah, so for the first 2 half innings, you've seen Delaware put a couple of runners on. As that first pitch to Portillo, the pitcher, is fouled straight back for strike 1. Get a pitcher versus pitcher matchup. Yeah, Portillo in her own right has done a very nice job. Like I said, Delaware has had a couple. They had one in the first, and they had a couple there in the second inning. So to be able to kind of pitch out of trouble from second and third to nobody out to just kind of keep it 1-1.
Absolutely. That's the best case scenario. You get second and third on no outs. You're like, all right, it's almost a guaranteed 2 runs usually. Limiting it to 1 and almost getting out of there scot-free with 0 was huge for Portillo.
The 1-2. That's high from Kenton. Count 22 to number 22, Yessi Portillo. She swings through that for strike 3.
and a great job. You get the run, and then you strike out the first batter right after that. That just starts to eat away at the energy for Maryland if Delaware can continue to eat and take away as much energy and motivation that they have, because you don't want to give them, that, oh, man, we have a shot here. You get a leadoff runner, this, that, and the other.
That's right. Willow Grote swings through that for strike one. So she quickly falls behind in the count 0-1. Swings through the second pitch, strike number 2.
You know what I love here? Kent is working very fast
Yes.
here. It applies a lot of pressure on the hitters and the other team, and here she goes, another strikeout. Really fast, 3 pitches, and she's ready to go back in for another batter. Working really fast. What Maryland needs to do here is slow things up, and actually, while I was getting lineups during the game, they talked about taking their time in the box, stepping out, slowing down the opposing pitcher. So it's something that they are being taught and coached on. They don't want to give the pitcher too much of their own willpower to make this their game. You want to make it your game.
That's right. Now, where else are you going to get analysis like that?
Nowhere, Joe.
Absolutely not. No, I mean, listen.
Actually, probably a lot of places.
all of the people associated with PDF, we do our best, again, to give you bigger picture outlook, amazing context, great interviews, the whole 9. That's Adeline Homburg here, the catcher for Maryland. So Kenton, who made quick work, very quick work, of Yessie Portillo and Willow Grote to start the inning, now falling behind 3-0 to Homburg. Catcher number 7, and she will walk on 4 pitches. So we're at the bottom portion of this Maryland lineup. So 2 quick outs to start the inning, but Homburg is at first base. The right fielder, number 6, Lila Ward, the final batter in this Maryland lineup here. The first time through against Kenton. And that pitch is a little bit low, but crosses at the knees on the outer portion of the plate for strike 1. During that, Homburg takes second base. So again, based on how these teams have been running here at Great Kills, as that pitch is inside, Lila Wood has to take a step back for ball 1, count 1-1. But these teams have been aggressive on the base paths, Cam, and you've kind of seen that in the early portion of the game here. Again, this is your first day here. Homburg again leaves second. She gets to third safely. So again, Maryland seems like there's a sense of urgency here because on those 2 pitches, neither of them really got, past the catcher here, Quinn Albert for Delaware. But they were able to take the extra bases. So to go from first to third, Homburg once again taking a very healthy lead there as the count goes to 3-1 to Lila Ward. Pitch will skip in there for ball 4.
And now they have first and third, 2 outs. So after 2 very quick strikeouts here, they're going to take a mound visit, slow things down themselves now. Kent was working very fast, but then a quick walk and a run around the bases to third base, and then followed up by another walk. They have to take some time here, recollect herself, take a breath, and start filling up the zone again.
All right, so I said Lila Ward. It was Lila Wood. My apologies again for misspeaking. So Lila Wood is at first. Adeline Homburg is at third. The leadoff hitter, Reagan Wood, will step into the batter's box here with runners on the corners and 2 outs.
Now this is why they're taking a mound visit here. They've rolled back into the top of the order, and they want to try to get out of here with no runs. The worst thing you want to do is score the tying run and then immediately give it back up. So really this would be a huge out for Kenton here if she can get Wood out.
So once again, this is the leadoff hitter, number 3, Reagan Wood, playing shortstop for Maryland here. Kenton bounces that in there for ball 1. Lila Wood now ends up on second base. And again, this is the MO for all these teams here. Take the extra base. Reagan Wood will ground it to the third baseman. 1 hop across the diamond. Throw is in time. Excellent play there by Ballard. As Delaware is another scary scenario with Maryland putting runners on base. They had second and third there with 2 outs. No damage done. So through 2 innings here, We got a tie score, 1-1, Delaware and Maryland. Good game so far here, Cam. Keep it here as the top of the third is coming here live. Great Kills Little League on this dreary but still relatively cool and nice Tuesday morning here on Staten Island, and keep it here on the PDF Sports Network.
New York State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
We're back here for the top half of the third inning. Up to this point in the game, it is 1-3-0 for Delaware, 1-1-0 for Maryland. It is Maryland who has, I think, done a good job in their own right of putting traffic on the base paths. Just a one hit, but a couple of walks here. For Delaware, in the early innings here, in the games that I've seen them play on the major field, they had really a lot of difficulty getting out of these first couple of innings with not allowing too many runs. So the fact that they are 1-1 here and they've maintained a very strong level of play here through the first two innings has been better for them here as they look to, again, it wouldn't really be considered an upset. It was Maryland who went 2-1 in pool play. Delaware went 1-2. Essentially, for seeding purposes on the Mid-Atlantic side here, this is the 4-5 game. The winner of this game will move on to play again at 10:45. The loser of this game, again, with that a single elimination format from here on out, will be out.
Well, and yeah, like you said, Delaware has been getting a couple hits that led to a run. In Maryland, they're getting a lot of traffic, but they're just waiting for that big hit that will cash in the free baseball that they are getting rewarded.
And that ball is going to be hit towards the first base side, but foul, as Portillo quickly gets ahead in the count, 0-2. 6 strikeouts here for her over the course of the first 2 innings.
Doing a phenomenal job.
The defense has had to make a couple of plays behind her on those balls that were put in play. But for the balls that were not put in play, she's been able to put batters out.
So yeah, Ballard made a great play for Delaware to end that last inning. So defense is showing today.
So Nathalie Ballard steps into the box here as I think she was checking her swing, but that was going to be a strike regardless. So the count quickly goes to 0-1. I believe it was Raylan Towers who struck out swinging there for the first out of the inning for Delaware as the count levels off at 1-1 with that ball. And we had a couple of tweaks on the Delaware side of things. A couple of different things that we've seen from them over the course of the first couple of games. Well, pool play, really. The count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, inside cheese there from Portillo. It's the best pitch in the game. As my coach always called it, La Cocina. You want to get into the kitchen. That inside pitch, a lot of people don't like hitting it, myself included as a player. It's that inside, looks like it's going to hit you. But, man, it's always a strike.
Ballard goes down swinging there. So 8 strikeouts for Portillo here. 2 quick outs here in the top of the third inning. You know, as you so what was what was the expression again?
La Cocina.
La Cocina.
And you want to get in the kitchen. His name was Mark Thorne, and he played in the big leagues for the Angels alongside Rod Carew and a bunch of other players, Ron Coomer. And he said his coaches taught him all the time. Joe Madden was the Angels coach, World Series winning coach for the Cubs. La Cocina. Pitch in the inside, because the best you could do is you're throwing heat, you're throwing a spinner inside. It'll be a jam shot, and it's going to be a weak grounder, or they're not going to swing at all, and it's always a strike. I'm telling you, Joe.
I love that. Again, where else are you going to find analysis like that? You know, as soon as you said that, there was a crow here who landed on the wiring in front of us. Usually those tend to represent wisdom.
I'll take the wisdom shout out.
So once again, it is Portillo who strikes out the side. 3 times swinging here. She makes quick work of Delaware in the top half of the 3rd inning. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Still a 1-1 score here. Keep it here on the PDF Sports Network.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
Bottom of the 3rd coming up here. Delaware and Maryland tied 1-1 as these two Mid-Atlantic teams start the single elimination playoff portion of the week here. You're watching the 10 and under East Regional Softball Championships at Great Hills Little League here on Staten Island. My hometown neighborhood.
Your hometown.
My hometown neighborhood.
How about that?
Played here when I was younger.
Really?
Yep.
We got to throw your name up on the wall.
I was good. I wasn't great, though. Got better as time went on, but unfortunately by that point it was a little too late.
That end and all for us. I think I peaked a little earlier on in my career.
Yeah,
I just started facing all the dudes, and man, they sat me down. Now we're up here, though, Joe. Best of both worlds.
That's right. Started growing facial hair in high school and college. Usually the scouts tend to tell you that if that happens, a player matures earlier, so they tend to avoid those players. You, nice clean shaven. I could never look like that. Count 0-1 here to Aubrey Bledsoe. She swings through that. Quick count quickly goes to 0-2. I'll tell you something. Portillo and Kenton, for a majority of the batters that they have seen on both sides, have done a great job of making quick work.
Absolutely.
We pointed out there have been a couple times where they've gone down 2-0, 3-0 in the count. But for those at-bats in particular, both pitchers have been able to fight back to 2-2, 3-2.
And even then, the balls that are missing, they are very competitive pitches where either will get the batter to swing or you may get the call. So that's all you're looking for as a coach. You want to get the competitive pitching. You want to go fast. I know I keep talking about it as there's a strikeout. Yeah, a strikeout there, right? No. I thought so.
I'm waiting for...
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I think Aubrey Bledsoe lost track of that for that. Or maybe she thought she tipped it. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she made the body language like she thought she tipped it, but she did not. So it is Grace Kenton who gets credited for another strikeout. Unofficially, I think, what she has, 4 or 5 at the moment?
Yeah.
Yep. So that ball will go inside, and it looks like it hits the left foot.
Yeah, that never feels too good.
No, definitely not. Blake Herbert gets hit there. The left foot.
You know, and as this game continues, you get the strikeouts. So Kenton is getting these strikeouts, but you still want to limit the free baseball because that's all Maryland is waiting for now. Now they have traffic going again, and they're just waiting for a big hit, which we may see here.
Well, it was Lane Rollins who had the single in the first inning, so she takes that strike a little bit low, a little bit away, but a strike nonetheless. So the count quickly goes to 0-2. As that pitch is skied in the direction of the shortstop. It's Kennedy Zook there getting underneath it. Got to think that little breeze, little wind affected the trajectory of the ball, but a nice play by Zook to stay beneath it to make the out. 2 outs.
If you keep putting bat on ball, things will fall.
That's what we've seen a majority of the first 2 days here at Great Hills Little League. As Harper Quaid steps in for ball 1.
Very aggressive secondary leads here. Maryland loves to run. We've seen it before. Delaware doing their fair share of running as well. Two aggressive teams on the base pass here.
So that pitch is fouled off down the third base side. 1-1 here. Blake Herbert is at second with 2 outs. And Harper Quaid, who was in the circle yesterday for Maryland, she's playing first base today, batting 5th in their batting order. It's now the second time through the order for Maryland. Again, had a bunch of traffic on the base paths so far, so that's why we are pretty much at the middle portion of their lineup here in the 3rd inning, but still just the 1 run for each side. Count 2-1 to Quaid. Look like a strike. Will be indeed called a strike. It was Albert who was not able to see the ball cleanly into the glove there, and that allowed Herbert to take third base. So for the second time, or for maybe the third time in this game, Maryland finds a way to have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and they won't be able to do anything with that again as Quaid will swing through the Kenton delivery for strike 3. So, again, unofficially, I believe it is now 6 or 7 strikeouts for Grace Kenton. We exit the 3rd inning. Still tied, Delaware and Maryland. 1-1 here. You're watching the 10 and under East Regional Softball Championships. I'm Joe Calabrese alongside Cam Williams. Keep it here on the PDF Sports Network.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
Top of the 4th inning here. Great Hills Little League, Delaware 1-3-0, Maryland still 1-1-0. Again, I made a point on the bottom half of the 3rd inning there. Both teams have done a really great job of putting traffic on the base paths. However, both teams have had a similar problem, Cam. Have not been able to get really, you can't say the big hit yet, because we're now in the middle portion of the game. We're just past the halfway point again, and it's still 1-1, so that happens. You know, you play into extras. But again, both teams have been able to generate traffic. However, outside of those 1 hit for each team, they have not been able to score more than a run.
Yeah. It's not panic mode yet, like you said. We're just getting to the second half of the game so far, but we're seeing a lot of that traffic and just not cashing in. That's what it's going to come down to. It's 1-1 here. MOs for both teams have been pretty similar. You know, not much hits, but there's a swing and a half right there.
And Grace Kenton is able to line that into the right center field gap. She's going to make a wide turn. She's going to go to third. Throw comes in late, and now she's making the turn to go home. And we have an old-fashioned inside the park style home run for the Delaware pitcher, number 4, Grace Kenton, to start the 4th inning. So Delaware, now for the second time in the game, they will take a 1-run lead here. 2-1 here to start the top of the 4th inning, Cam.
And that was just a beautiful hit right off the bat. Obviously got past the outfielders, but just a beautiful stroke right into right center. Went all the way to the wall, and the coach, he was sending her right away. Grace Kenton, doing it all herself. She was rounding third, and she saw the throw coming in. And here's another similar hit.
Similar hit. It's going to be a tough play for Reagan Wood. She's going to have no play at first base.
So now what Delaware is doing here, they're going everything to the right side, and it's working out for their favor now. 5 hits. They got the inside the Parker from Grace Kenton with that aggressive run, and they saw the ball coming in, and Coach waving her around, and Kenton hustling and tumbling. Right down the home plate, and she's in there.
What's up, Clyde Frazier? Big shout out to the Knicks, bringing a 53-year drought, winning an NBA championship.
How about that?
That's apples and oranges. We'll stick to softball here. So it was Kennedy Zook who reached on an infield singer here. So it's the cleanup hitter, number 6, Marley Clendaniel. She is ahead in the count now. Looks like 2-0. And on that exchange, because it was Homburg behind the plate, not able to field the ball cleanly into the glove as Zook takes second base. Clendaniel swings through that pitch. for the first strike of the at-bat. Count 2-1.
Now, I'm telling you, if Clendaniel gets a piece of this ball on her bat, it's going a long way. She's got the swing, I'm telling you. She gets the timing down, the foot down. That ball's going to the outfield, Joe, and they'll get another run here.
The insight. I'll tell you something. With the insight that you've given us today, it was almost like you were here in spirit the first 2 days.
I may have done some homework.
The 3-1 is swung through by Clendaniel, so the count goes full to 3-2. Still nobody out here in the top half of the fourth inning here. Delaware with a 2-1 lead. Kennedy Zook on second base, and that ball skipped in there for ball 4 as Clendaniel will take first base. Runners on first and second now for Delaware, nobody out.
Yeah, so all the momentum is in Delaware's favor here, and it's going to be up to Portillo to get out of this jam.
She did that a couple of times over the course of the first couple of innings as Peyton Bell grounds that right back to the pitcher. That's a sharp throw from Bell to the first baseman, Harper Quaid, 1 out here.
And now you will definitely trade that out there. You'll take the out. Now you have second and third. You have a free base, so you don't necessarily have to get too crazy and fill up the zone here. You have an open base to pitch around to. There's a huge out there. You need that out.
Julie Mumford stepping in for her second at-bat of the game as she swings through that for strike 1. The 0-1 comes in a little bit low towards the outer part of the plate. I believe that was off the plate, so the count will even at 1-1. Kennedy Zook is on third. As Marley Clendaniel at second. As that ball is hit into the gap again between second base and shortstop right at the edge of the infield. Here are both runners coming in for Delaware. And it is Julie Mumford with her second hit of the game. Cam, Delaware plays 2 more runs. They have 3 here in the top half of the fourth inning. And they take their biggest lead of the game by 3, a 4-1 advantage.
And now here's what we're talking about. We've seen a lot of traffic for both teams throughout the game thus far. We're into the second half now, top of the fourth. And now Delaware has taken advantage of it. They have started to get a couple hits here this inning that have led to those runs finally being cashed in. Now, on to the contrary, Maryland, this is all they're looking to do. They've been getting the traffic all game. Now, they're going to have to try to fight through and get through this inning here. But if Portillo can do that without surrendering, a couple more runs here, Maryland will still be in good shape. But Delaware, they are hammering it. They're putting the ball in play and making things happen.
Yes, they are. First pitch went to the backstop for ball 1. Pitch is in there for a strike. Count 1-1 to the second baseman. Number 5, Macy Durham. I believe she's the 7th hitter in this lineup for Delaware. Julie Mumford is now at third. Count 1-2. Very easy to pick out Mumford because she's got that pink helmet. Big shout out. We love all the pink in the uniform sets with the helmet and the cleats and a couple of pink bats that I've seen from multiple teams. Durham pops that up to the third base dugout side. Again, that's occupied at the moment by Delaware. So the count will remain at 1-2.
That was a big hack there. Lucky there's a net right there. Otherwise, it would have been hitting someone's car.
First time we've made that joke today as Durham swings through that for strike 3. Second out of the inning for Delaware.
That's why I parked 1.5 miles away. Not getting my car hit. Not today. We got some sun starting to peek through a little bit. It's trying. It's working overtime, but still cloudy.
Yeah. Again, we'll call this overcast, right? Because it's thankfully, again, the temperature is actually very comfortable.
It is.
It's not cool. It's not warm. It's not cool. It's not muggy, humid, or anything like that. Still relatively solid baseball, softball weather. As the count started 0-1 to the left fielder Addison Bauer here. Number 13, again, Delaware with 2 outs. The 1-1 here from Portillo. As the ball is put in play towards the first base side, and that's going to get through for a base hit. So that hit from Bauer perfectly finds the gap between the first baseman and the second baseman. Julie Mumford will score from third, and Delaware tacks on another run, their fourth of the inning, and they take a 5-1 lead.
And there you go again. Delaware using full advantage of the right side of the field. That was a great 2-0 swing there. Ball a little bit on the outside of the plate. Stuck her bat out there and made things happen. And that is what Delaware is continuing to do. They get another run in on 2 outs. They now take it 5-1 lead, and they have 7 hits. That's 6 more than Maryland right now.
That's right.
And that's the difference in the game.
And
they both have had equal traffic, but now the hits are starting to roll in for Delaware.
What we've seen here from the last so we'll reset here. The more important thing to note is that Maryland is about to make a pitching change. So what we'll do here is, as this is getting sorted out, because I want to make a note of the player who's going into the circle to pitch for Maryland. So again, Cam, we'll set that up, and we'll temporarily go to break if there is that pitching change. Let's see. Actually, will not be. Okay.
We'll stay right here.
So initially, it was Portillo. She had a little bit of that frustration as she took the ball out and she kind of gave it to the manager. Usually that's the indication that you're coming out of the game, but she stays in the game. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad decision. I think she's pitched very well. A couple of difficult hits. What I was going to say, though, I was going to make 2 points, as the count here quickly goes to 0-2, and that won't matter here, as Bauer will get hung up between first and second on an aggressive steal attempt. So the aggressive base running up until this point has benefited both teams, a little more so for Delaware, but Delaware will run themselves out of the inning in this instance, but not before they score 4 runs in the top of the 4th inning. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Maryland has a lot of work to do, but they have 9 outs to work with. They are now down 5-1. You're watching coverage of the 10 and under East Regional Softball Championships here at Great Kills Little League. Single elimination format from here on out. Stay with us on the PDF Sports Network.
When it comes to sports, why be good when you can be legendary? At Legend Sporting Goods in Brooklyn, we service the community with only the best custom apparel, embroidery, and service, specializing in youth sports, so that the leaders of today become the legends of tomorrow. We're proud to support all of this week's great athletes and invite everyone to check us out and make us a part of your team. Come see why Legend Sporting Goods is in a class by itself. Visit us online or call us now.
And we are back here for the start of the bottom of the 4th inning. Had a couple comments in the chat for everybody watching at home, supporting the Delaware and the Maryland sides. That's a big travel for them. You know, for Delaware, I know it's not too far, 2 hours. For Maryland, it's closer to 2 hours and a half, or up to 3 hours. I know from Staten Island here, it's usually 2 hours and 45 minutes, 50 minutes to Baltimore.
Well, especially on a Tuesday morning, definitely a big travel. I know it was for me. I'm coming from South Jersey. Shout out my Ocean City people.
Love Ocean City. We love Jersey. I made that joke yesterday. They're New York. More so Staten Island and Jersey are first cousins.
May as well be.
Grace Kenton quickly gets ahead in the count 0-2. But before we reset for the Maryland side of things, did have a comment in the chat. Blue strike zone is pretty low. What we do is we do like to make note of the commentary. So we made that observation. Maryland will go down swinging there in the first at-bat of the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yeah, it has been pretty low, but it has been consistent. So like we said, in the first and second inning, the girls are just going to have to adapt to it. You know,
that's what we care about, consistency. Yeah. And again, he's been much more consistent with that low strike. But again, it's different when the pitcher, when it crosses over the knees, as that is Yessi Portillo. It's going to bounce that along the infield. It's going to go over Grace Kenton's head. Wasn't quite within range for the second baseman, Macy Durham, so she's going to end up with an infield single. And on first base there, it was Ava Page who struck out swinging to start the inning, as number 44, Willow Grote, the left fielder, number 44, the 8th batter in this Maryland lineup, she steps into the batter's box. But again, to wrap up that point, we have noticed that the strike zone has been a little bit low, but it's been a little bit consistent as Grote pops that up. halfway between the circle and home plate. Maybe a little closer bit to the circle. But it's Kenton. Gets to jump out of the circle. She's able to field that pop-up cleanly from Grote. And with that, 2 quick outs for Maryland.
Kenton doing it all.
That's right. Kenton doing it all here. Homburg squares up to bunt there. And that ball is fair. And that throw gets away from the first baseman, Harper Quaid. Didn't see how far it got, again, because we get the railing in front of us over here on the deck. But because of that, it allows the pitcher, Yessi Portillo, who reached on the infield single, she gets to third base. The catcher, Adeline Homburg, number 7, ends up at first base. That's a hit.
Absolutely.
It was a well-executed bunt.
Beautiful
Probably I think the best executed bunt in a true game scenario, because we've seen them here a couple times with some double-digit leads here throughout the course of the first couple of days here at the East Regional Championships.
I mean, that was a beautiful bunt. That's a little bit small ball for Maryland now. Try to get as much players on and traffic as they possibly can.
Lila Wood, I believe the count is 0-2 here.
Yes.
See if the scoreboard here adjusts with that quickly, and yes, it is. So Lila Wood, the 10th batter here, the last batter in the order for Maryland, playing right field. She is going to go down looking on that third pitch. Maryland will strand 2 on second and third. Not able to cash in on that opportunity here. They'll have 6 outs left to play with. And we head to the top of the 5th inning here. It's 5-7-0 for Delaware, who have a 4-run lead, a 5-1 score. So we head to the top of the 5th inning here. Keep it here on the PDF Sports Network.
K&S Industrial is your all-in-one supply and tool store for commercial, industrial, and domestic industries. A leader in HVAC supply stores, K&S provides various building and maintenance supplies for office buildings, industrial plants, schools, homes, and more. We also specialize in getting our customers hard-to-find items. If you're looking for HVAC supply stores that also offer anything else you might need, look no further than K&S Industrial. If they make it, we'll get it. K&S Industrial.
We are back here for the top of the 5th inning. Was the team from Delaware, Milford, Delaware, who put up 4 runs in the top of the 4th inning. Up until that point in the game, it was pretty evenly contested at 1-1. So Cam, again, 6 outs left to work with Maryland, but they still have jobs to do here in the top half, preventing Delaware from scoring any more.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you this. If they could get out of this quick and fast and scot-free, I'd tell you this, call me crazy, but the momentum is all on Maryland's side. They've seen the traffic throughout the whole game. They got the hits last inning. Now, if they combine it, Joe, we're looking at some hits and some runs. So if they could get out of this scot-free here, we might see a little bit closer of a matchup here. It's been close all game. 4th inning got a little crazy there. They came back in the bottom half of the inning. Weren't able to score any runs across, but they started to get those hits that they haven't seen all day. So even with the small ball, I love the bunting. I think the coaches saw it worked well. Maybe they'll try it again, at least get some runners over, and worked out in their favor. Not completely, because Grace Kenton has been on fire on the mound and hitting.
In the circle.
In the circle, I like that. I gotta adapt.
We gotta, again, when it comes to the terminology here for baseball and softball.
The circle, good.
Good. Sun finally peeking through. For everybody who's watching at home, they were playing a cha-cha slide over the PA.
Delaware's dugout was loving it.
And they were loving it. Nice coordinated dance over there. Count 1-1 here. That's a swinging strike there. Count 1-2 here. Cam, would you pass me the roster sheet again over here?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And that'll be a little bit low, as it was pointed out in the commentary and the chat, but strike 3.
But that is the zone. And it has been consistent throughout this game.
It has been. I believe that was Logan Bell. Again, when you brought up the the sheet over here.
Are we a little off?
We might be. So that's why I've kind of been pausing a little bit for the Delaware side of things. So it is now number 17, Gianna Rivera. It's one of the extra hitters here for this Delaware team. She is ahead in the count, 2-0. 1 out here. Gotta love that to start the inning from Portillo, though. Again, she's done a fairly good job in the circle in her own right. That one truly difficult inning up until this point has been the difference in the game, as Rivera is going to bounce that on one hop to the shortstop. And the call is safe at first. Unfortunately, I mistimed the...
No, she was out.
She was out? Okay.
I thought so.
You know what?
It's hard to see.
Again.
You were working hard to get up
I was
there.
working hard. It looked like a tie runner scenario.
It was very close.
And again, the umpire, the signaling wasn't immediately.
It was not there. I had the view on the camera, so
You did.
I
There
saw
you go.
that a little bit quicker.
So that's the second out. Dribbler goes to third base to Ava Page, and that throw is late. The big turn made over there, and Maryland is going to get, and again, it looks like Raylan Towers over there at second base for the third out. So Maryland making quick work of that Delaware team in the top of the fifth inning.
And just like I said,
it's exactly what they needed to do.
That is the momentum swing, and it may work out in their favor here. I'm sure the coaches, they're down on a knee, they're huddled up right now. We have the momentum. You got to slow it down, stop Grace Kenton, who has been dominating, and start working on some runs. Maybe take a couple pitches, try to get some free baseball, and cash in on a couple big hits here.
Well, we got 6 outs to see if Maryland can do that. Delaware's up 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning here. Keep it on here on the PDF Sports Network.
The Staten Island Ferry Hawks are proud to be a sponsor of this year's New York State Little League Championship, because one championship organization deserves another. Come check out another amazing season with us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark with great ticket and group deals, theme nights, and fireworks displays. Good luck to all of our teams this week from your friends at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. We'll see you at the game.
And we are back here for the start of the bottom half of the fifth inning. And what I will be able to tell you is that in a similar manner to the last inning, we had the cha-cha slide playing in the top half of the fifth inning. Again, from our camera views, you were able to see the Delaware dugout getting really, really into the cha-cha slide. I can confirm that the Maryland dugout, which is on the home side, the first base side here, can't really see them at all. They were doing their part on the YMCA. So it's all about having fun here. The 10 and under East Regional Softball Championships on what is now turning into a pleasant type of day. The sun has peeked through here over the course of the last couple of minutes here, kind of broken up what is an overcast looking like sky. And again, we thank that it's not hazy out, it's not muggy out, as that is a ground ball. Again, it went up the middle, fielded by the second baseman, Macy Durham there. But there is no play. So it is Reagan Wood back to the top of the order for the Maryland lineup. She reaches on an infield single again between the second baseman and the shortstop.
That was a good play by Durham. Stopped the ball, didn't let it get to the outfield.
That's right. So that's a ground ball to first base. Routine play there made by Marley Clendaniel on Aubrey Bledsoe. And it was Reagan Wood who took a big turn from second base, who went to third. The throw that went to third got away from Delaware. Reagan Wood will round the bases. And with that, we have Maryland's second run.
And there they go, cashing in on the free baseball, the mistakes that were made by Delaware there. And they cashed right in.
So what we'll do here is, for the purity of the scoring purposes, we will give Delaware an error on the throw to third, because that did score Aubrey Bledsoe once. Reagan Wood once again. The batter is Blake Herbert, number 99, the center fielder for Maryland. She's ahead in the count, 2-0. That pitch from Kenton is low enough that the home plate umpire has will not call it a strike. Again, there's been the discrepancy based on the commentary in the chat. 3-0. Looked like it was fouled off, and that is the case. I think the ball that was fouled off and hit the plate.
Sometimes if you don't know, though, it's better to run than to
I
not.
agree. I absolutely agree. Totally correct decision there.
Forrest Gumping until they call you back.
No, I agree. Totally great decision there from Blake Herbert. Always run hard out of the box. And she's going to ground that through the second baseman and the shortstop for a base hit. So for the first hit in the inning from Reagan Wood, the hit went to the edge of the infield in a very, very similar spot there on the Delaware defense between the second baseman and the shortstop. That time it was Herbert who got the hit through to center field for the base hit. So a one-out hit from Maryland, who have already chopped into their 4-run deficit by 1, 5-2. Pitch from Kenton gets away from Quinn Albert, as it's Herbert who takes second base. So Maryland has a runner on second with 1 out. The batter is Lane Rollins. That's a ground ball dribbler to the third baseman. And the throw from third is errant, and it gets by the first baseman, Marley Clendaniel. So Herbert turns from third. She is going to score. Lane Rollins will stay at first base.
Now, what do you think, Joe? Is that a throwing error or is that a single? It's a very tough play.
I believe, again, for official scoring purposes, it is a single. However, the run scores on the error from Delaware. So 2 errors in this inning from Delaware, and it is Lane Rollins there who gets to second base after that pitch gets a little bit away from Albert once again. And once again, Kenton, who has been electric in this game, and I would say, again, unofficially, we do unofficial math here at the PDF Sports Network, about 70 or 80% of her pitches have been right over the plate, well within zone, has not really been wild at all. But a couple of pass balls and a couple of throwing errors for Delaware here have opened the door for Maryland here in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and they've seen some free baseball. They've seen some mistakes earlier on the game, but they just weren't getting the hits that allowed them to cash in on these mistakes that Delaware was making. Now that they're getting a couple hits this inning, they're scoring those runs, and they're inching their way back closer to knotting this game up at 5 apiece.
And that ball is going to be hit towards the first base side, and it's going to get through for a base hit. So that is going to be an RBI single from Harper Quaid. Lane Rollins will score from third. 3 runs here in the bottom half of the 5th inning for Maryland, and just like that, Cam, we have a 1-run game again.
It's very close, and it's 1 out. This is the first adversity that Kenton has seen really since the first inning. You know, a lot of traffic throughout the game, but she's done a fair job going, competing fast, working hard, and throwing strikes. But now, here comes Maryland. They're now using the right part of the field now, and they're getting hits.
A couple of Jatarian-esque singles using the middle right side of the infield. So on the previous pitch, it was Harper Quaid who essentially was a straight steal.
Yes.
That time around, again, it is Albert who's had some difficulties behind the plate in this inning. For the 3rd time, she's allowed a ball to kind of get by her a little bit. So that ball is going to be grounded foul from the 6th batter here, number 33, Ava Page, playing third for Maryland. Count is 1-2 here to her.
You know what the difference could be here, too, is I'm seeing Maryland. They're swinging a lot more. They're starting to take a lot more hacks. Well, they're not now, as that Kenton gets a strikeout there.
That's a huge strikeout.
Very big.
That is a gigantic strikeout, as Ava Page seemed like she made an expression that she disputed the strike call. That looked like a strike here, though.
It did.
So Page goes down on strikes. Again, I believe for the 2nd time in this game. It is, again, a pitcher matchup. Yessi Portillo swinging through a first pitch strike. Kent will bounce that in. The third baseman, Natalie Ballard.
Crashing very hard.
Yeah, she's crashing very hard at third base. And you got to think if there's some form of contact made. Again, immediately we're looking at a situation where Harper Quaid is releasing at third. Couple of pitches bounced in there. And again, it is look at Quaid where she is right at the moment. Has not even gone back to third base. She's about a quarter of the way on those 2 pitches in this count, particularly that have gotten away from Albert a little bit, but she's done a good job keeping those balls closer.
And she may have been able to score on that one. I know it's pass ball and it's a very short backstop, but the way she's taking her secondary, I mean, she's almost halfway down on those. If she continues going down on the downhill angle,
I think if this was the 6th inning,
yes, absolutely,
she may have tried to just crash and try to force the defense to make a play at the plate. And that ball is going to be hit over the second baseman's head for a base hit into right field. It is an RBI single for the pitcher, Yessie Portillo. Harper Quaid comes in to score, and just like that, after Delaware with the 4 spot in the top of the 4th takes a 5-1 lead, Maryland answers with a 4 spot in the bottom of the 5th, and we are all knotted up at 5 here at Great Kills.
Yes, Kenton gets a strikeout prior to Yessie Portillo coming up to the plate. Has a runner on third base with 1 out, gets the strikeout, 2 outs. Now Delaware thinks they can take a breath. No, Yessie Portillo comes in. The pitcher's doing it all today, making outs happen on the circle, and then comes in to hit, and she does it in a huge style as now she steals a base. But Yessie Portillo tying up this game, 5 apiece, bottom of the 5th with 2 outs here.
The pitchers have really been the standout players on both sides, and again, the score is 5-5. So you've gotten some really key contributions on both sides, as it is now Portillo, again, taking advantage. It was the second time in this inning that Maryland kind of just decided to go and take the base without anything extra. Ball gets by Albert. Portillo's coming in to score! And she is safe at the plate after the slide. That pitch from Kenton once again gets away from Albert.
It's just
very difficult.
Electric from Portillo there. It's very hard, but Maryland, you've seen it throughout the whole game, and especially in this 5th inning. Very aggressive secondary leads at third base. And
they've been doing that the whole game, Cam.
Yeah, and it's go. You have 2 outs. You're in the bottom of the 5th. You're not up the game. You don't have to be as careful. It's not the 6th, but now you have a lead. Go for it. And Yessie Portillo said, thank you very much, and took it home.
What I will say is on the previous batter, right, when Yessie Portillo was in the box and Harper Quaid was at third, there was some hesitation from Quaid to go home on some of those pitches. Yeah. Portillo was going no hesitation whatsoever. She immediately went. So for Willow Grote, that ball is bounced in.
And you can't teach that. That's instinct.
That's right.
She saw the ball down and went.
So Grote walked here. She ends up on first base. And again, there are 2 outs in this inning. So for the last couple of batters here for Maryland, they've been able to generate this with 2 outs. That bunt attempt by Adeline Homburg. Again, we're at the bottom portion of the Maryland lineup again. The catcher, number 7, showing bunt there, getting it down. If it would have stayed fair, it would have been a really good spot, but it went foul. So the count at 0-1. Pitch over the outer half of the plate. Hits the black for strike 2 for Grace Kenton. Again, Willow Grote takes second base with this aggressive base running from Maryland. They've basically been taking every base that they have the opportunity to take. And as I say that, again, Cam, they take another base.
Yeah, and that'll work out for you because I'm sure they're going to continue on with the MO. They get another ball past the catcher here. They might be going.
And again, we'll see if, again, it is Willow Grote now at third base. If she has the same mentality as Portillo with no hesitation. She's not going to get that opportunity as Homburg goes down swinging to end the inning here. Grace Kenton, up until this point, great pitching effort, but it is now Delaware who's got some work to do. The 3 outs to work with as Maryland takes a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. We are headed to the top of the 6th here, the 2026 10 and Under East Regional Softball Tournament. Delaware, 3 more outs from potential elimination. Stay with us on the PDF Sports Network.
New York State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
We are back here for the top of the 6th inning. Through 5 innings, it is 5-8-0 for Delaware, 6-8-2 for Maryland. So the errors are incorrect there, Cam. You got to switch them. Yeah, it was 2 errors for Delaware. But regardless, it's still a 6-5 game. And for everybody who is watching at home, again, we like to point to the commentary in the chat. Special shout out over there. Thank you. The commentators are doing a great job under the tent. Again, we do our best here at the PDF Sports Network.
We try hard, and it's easy to do when you've seen a good competition game.
That's
here,
right.
Especially between Delaware and Maryland.
Absolutely.
We're in playoffs here.
For all the family and the friends who are watching at home, it sounds cliche. Our jobs become infinitely easier when we get a game like this.
Absolutely.
A really tightly contested game, well-played game for both sides, well-pitched game for both sides. And there you go. Thank you, Cam, for that adjustment. It's all right. Like I said, nobody's perfect before the start of the game. Not even us.
Absolutely.
But we thank, again, the complimentary words from everybody, family, friends, and everybody who is supporting at home. Again, for these two teams, their trip is 2+ hours both ways. 2 hours to Delaware and about 2.5 to 3 from Maryland, maybe even more than that. First at bat here in the top half of the 6th inning.
And now I know you got to take the brunt of getting hit there, but that's a huge at-bat there for Delaware. Getting the leadoff batter on, especially after getting all their momentum stripped away from them and getting the leadoff runner on. That is huge for Delaware.
That's right. So it is the Dally Ballard. Okay. You know what? I wasn't sure if that was a 1 or an 11. I say this when I'm calling other stuff for collegiate athletics because, some of us, we do work at the College of Staten Island. We all have a strong bond outside of that. We have this joke all the time. Sometimes the braids of the hair, right, when they come down over the back of the uniform obstruct some of the numbers. So in this case, we don't know if it was 1 and 11. And again, Dally Ballard and Logan Bell are both at the middle end portion of this lineup for Delaware.
Yeah, and for those who are seeing that on their screen right now, the umpires gathered for a little bit of a chat there. My thing, I saw it myself live. Here, we got to play.
We got a ground ball to the pitcher. She cleanly makes that throw to first for the first out of the top of the 6th inning. Ground ball came off the bat of Quinn Albert. So for Delaware here, they have a runner in scoring position who is, again, that is the third baseman, Dally Ballard. With 1 out here, you got 2 outs left to work with. But again, you got 2, 3, 4 coming up here with a chance to tie the game or maybe even possibly retake the lead, Cam.
Yeah, and this is what you want for Delaware. Delaware gets the runner in scoring position here. I'm sure they're going to try to be aggressive, but not overly aggressive. You don't want to get thrown out here, but you got to get to third base sooner or later. But the catcher for Maryland has just been doing a phenomenal job here.
Yeah, Adeline Homburg.
Very good today.
She's been very, very good. Quinn Albert has been very good in her own right. She had a difficult 5th inning, but again, it happens. It's a little bit of also Maryland being hyper-aggressive on the base paths. We've seen Delaware be aggressive, but we've seen Maryland kind of dial it up even beyond that. So the count here, which was 3-0.
That was a good pitch there by Portillo, but I guess just a little outside for the umpire's liking.
So in that pitcher versus pitcher matchup, it is Grace Kenton who walks on 4 pitches. So Delaware has the tying and now go-ahead runs on base here with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Pitch is delivered to Kennedy Zook for strike 1. You see Portillo 2 more outs away from pitching Maryland into effectively what will be the semifinal situation here from all of the Mid-Atlantic teams in this grouping portion of now that we're beyond pool play. Again, from this point on, it's single elimination. Count 0-2 to Kennedy Zook. And that pitch is in there. Gets away from her just a little bit, but not quite enough, and the runners hold.
Not enough for the runner. Coach wanted her to go, though, but you still got to be a little selective. You don't want to get thrown out at third base. Worst place to get thrown out at.
And that pitch...
very close.
Very, very close. And, again, from our viewpoint, where it's been crossing in the zone, the home plate umpire has given that a strike for most of the game, but that pitch was a little bit away. So we got a ball. The count evens out at 2-2. That's flared between the pitcher and the second baseman. No real play there.
Just that soft contact, another hard play. It says in-betweeners just past Portillo, right to the second baseman. Where do you go to?
Yeah,
now
and even
bases loaded.
Even if Aubrey Bledsoe was charging in there to make that, and she's got no play at any base.
No.
So for Delaware, they now have the bases loaded with one out. And again, you got your cleanup hitter. You got Marley Clendaniel here up.
What I've been saying, she makes contact with it. It's going a long way. But
First pitch.
sometimes all you need is just a little piece of hit. You
That's
need
it.
to get this run in.
Sometimes all you got to do is just make some contact.
Put the ball in play, good things happen. That's what I've always been told, Joe.
Another cliche. First
Yes.
pitch strike, second pitch ball. Count 1-1. Delivery from Portillo is a little high, a little inside, so the count goes 2-1 to Clendaniel.
They call me Cliche Cammy.
Jay, really?
No. But we could start.
We can start. Pitch is low and away.
3-1 here. So Portillo's going to have to do some work to work back in this count. She's down in the count. But like we said all day, Portillo and Kenton have both done a good job working behind the count, getting back into the zone.
And that pitch is skied into center field. And it is Marley Clendaniel with the hit. Multiple runs are going to... No. They're going to hold up Grace Kenton at third. But it is Marley Clendaniel, the cleanup hitter for Delaware here, who ties the game once again. 6 apiece here with one out in the top of the 6th.
And like I said, I mean, sky high right into center field. Couldn't come home with the grab. But nonetheless, even if it was a grab, that was an easy sac fly. That ball was deep, and they got the run in. And now they get a bonus free out. So now they're still working with one out. Bases jammed here as we're now up with...
I believe it's Peyton Bell.
Peyton Bell. Going to try to take over the lead here.
That ball is grounded to the second baseman. She fields it cleanly. She's able to step to get the force, and that's all she'll get. So again, nice alert play there from Bledsoe to keep that ball in front of her. She makes the easy play to step on second base. Second out, runners on the corner, but the all-important go-ahead run for Delaware just came home, Cam.
Very huge, and that's where those mistakes in the field can sometimes hurt yourself in the rear end, and it happened there. Delaware comes away with another run, but that was still a big out for Maryland there because it allows, there's 2 outs now, play at any base to get out of this inning and get the bats going on Maryland's side.
Good job by Yessie Portillo, kind of preventing any further bleeding. It is now Julie Mumford, the right fielder, up. She's 2 for 2 in this game. She pops up to the pitcher. Portillo's not able to make the play. Now, did she make contact with it? Doesn't look like she did. Yeah, so I think the backspin on that ball went foul.
I think she might have, though. I believe the umpire called it.
They called it fair?
I believe so.
Okay.
So another huge run there.
Huge run there. Now Julie Mumford 3 for 3 in this game with a couple of RBIs for Delaware.
That is a very big run there. Little insurance run, as we like to call it in the business.
What a back and forth game over the course of the last 2 half innings, Cam. From 5-1 to 6-5, and now Delaware retakes the lead here in the top half of the 6th inning at 8-6. Still 2 outs. And ball is bounced in there from Portillo, allows both runners on the base paths to advance.
Now that leads, you got to wonder, you have a 2-run lead now. Do you get uber aggressive at third base and try to steal a run at home if it gets there behind the catcher there? But
well, that was the philosophy from Maryland in the last half inning, and they were able to do it twice.
Well.
And
worked out very well here. Portillo trying to get out of it.
Count 1-2. And the pitch is bounced in there. It gets by Homburg there, but again, that backstop, again, and it's not just on this field, it's the major and the senior minor fields here at Great Hills Little League. They are not that far from home plate.
Yeah.
The 2-2, once again, bounced in there.
Good block there.
Count goes to 3-2.
Doesn't look like they're getting uber aggressive at third base. You kind of want to play it. Not complacent, but you just don't want to make the last out at home plate. And for all reasons, makes sense.
And that'll be strike 3 to end the inning here. So it looks like it was Raylan Towers there who goes down looking. Terrific pitching effort here from Yessi Portillo here from the Maryland side of things. But it is Delaware who retakes the lead here. They lead by 2 at 8-6. We are headed to the bottom of the 6th inning here. Maryland with 3 outs to advance here. You're watching the 10 under East Regional Softball Championships on the PDF Sports Network.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
And we are back here. The bottom of the 6th inning. Maryland will have 3 outs to work with here. And if they do not, it will be Delaware who advances to our next game. From this point, would start in approximately, I would say, about 45 minutes or so. What a nice back and forth game that we've had here. Cam, what a treat here on your first day here. The sun is now out as well.
Absolutely.
Made mention. It is the bottom of the order here. Number 6, Lila Wood, the right fielder, leading off for Maryland. Bottom of the order coming up for Maryland, the bottom half of the 6th inning. And once again, 3 more outs to work with here.
Yeah, in Maryland, they're going to have to be selective here. Almost take till you get a strike. Make Kenton throw to you. Try to get the free bases. Try to get on base with the walk, with the hit, with the single, with the hit by pitch. Try to get on base any way possible.
So they had difficulties breaking through the first 4 innings.
Yes.
That was not the case in the 5th inning. What they were doing finally ended up working. And again, but they weren't able to hold that 1-run lead. So they conceded 3 in the top half of the 6th. The count goes to 2-2. That's a ground ball to the second baseman. Fielded cleanly. Throw goes to first to Clendaniel. And with that, Maryland, their first out in the top half of the 6th inning here. 2 outs remaining.
And that is a big one. When you get the first out in the last inning, that almost strips away any type of momentum or energy that the team hitting has. So for Kenton to get that out there, an easy grounder to second baseman, right to the first baseman, that is huge.
Nice clean play made there by Macy Durham at second base. Kenton delivers a first pitch in there, and that's Reagan Wood. He's going to hit it towards the left field side. Play is bobbled out there. And after that, allows Wood to take second base. So for Wood, I believe that is her second hit of the game. 1 out base runner for Maryland here.
That was a frozen rope right to third base, got through the hole right down to the line, left fielder.
Yeah, that ball was hardly hit, wasn't it?
That might have been the hardest hit of the game.
I think so.
Either that or Clendaniel out to center.
Well, Clendaniel's had a little bit of
She had that
lift to it,
yeah,
right?
She had a pop. That was smoke.
That was smoke.
Liner.
It was 100 miles an hour off the bat, unofficially. Count 1-0 to Aubrey Bledsoe, who, again, she made a pretty good play at second base in her own right last inning to help prevent Delaware from scoring more runs. That's grounded to the second baseman. And the throw to first is a little low, not able to be fielded cleanly there by Clendaniel. So it was Wood who advanced on the first pitch there, and on that, in that sequence that put Bledsoe on first base, she's able to score. Ground ball here to the shortstop. Shortstop goes the short route. She's not able to make the play at second base. The ball goes into the outfield. That allows Bledsoe to advance to third. So it is Blake Herbert here. I think she's going to get credited with the hit there. It's a difficult play to make.
Yeah.
So we'll give her a hit.
I mean, and here we go. Maryland 1 hit away from cashing in on a couple mistakes from Delaware in the field. And they're following the same thing here. Very aggressive secondaries there. They wanted to steal second base there, Coach. Not too happy with that, but hey, they'll get it back. They've been stealing all day long.
Yes, they have been very, like I said, hyper-aggressive on the base paths. It is Lane Rollins here. She had that RBI single all the way back in the first inning, and that was a straight steal, Cam.
Yep.
So with that, Maryland now has the tying and the go-ahead winning runs at second and third, both in scoring position here with just 1 out.
Well, not to mention also stealing that bag takes away the force out at second base.
Right.
So now it makes really one play in the infield, which is to make a long throw to first base rather than second.
Now, would you intentionally walk Lane Rollins?
I would pitch around for sure. We're
Okay.
at 10U, so it's a little harder to pick your zone on where you want to throw it. Sometimes the zone is just throwing it over the plate.
And that's what Ken has done for most of this game. She's been very, very, very good at hitting her spots. The 2-2 to Rollins. It gets bounced in the turf.
And even in this bottom of the sixth, still working very fast.
She
a lot of
is.
energy for her.
She has been working very quickly the entirety of the game. The payoff, 3-2, is in. It gets bounces to the backstop, and it allows Maryland to score the tying run. So Rollins will take first base on the walk. Blake Herbert is at third base. She will represent the winning run here as Rollins. She'll take second base there.
So that was very smart there by Delaware to not throw it to second base. You did the old play where you run right to second base, maybe get a throw. That would have been the game, but Coach Terrell obviously not throwing that ball and just letting them get to second because that run means nothing. It is just the
that
run
run
on
means
third
nothing
base.
now. Yep, that is correct.
So you got to be locked down at home plate because we know Maryland, they've done it a couple times now where they're stealing home on any pass ball. They just go. It's instinctual, and they're doing it well, and they're running hard. They're very aggressive. I'm sure the third base coach telling them right now, you see anything. It's one out, though, so maybe you don't have to do it just yet. But if you get to 2 outs, if Kenton can get another out here without getting this run in, it could be huge. And the infield, I'm sure, is going to be.
I was going to say the infield has got to be as far in as you can go.
Yes.
Outside of Marley Clendaniel at first base, who's got to play a little bit closer to the base in the event that there's a ground ball. You got to play as closely to the circle as you can.
Yeah, and really the outfield moved in a little bit, but maybe you want to just bring him in even more.
So Harper Quaid is the batter. She gets ahead in the count 2-0. That second pitch gets back to the backstop, but not far enough that it allows Herbert to score from third. She was thinking about it.
Yeah, Albert behind the dish got on that one quick, so a lot of more pressure and feel to get that ball quick.
That ball once again bounced in the turf. Albert having a lot of difficulty the last 2 innings here.
Yes.
She was very, very good the first 4 innings. And again, for Grace Kenton, she's hit her spots for most of this game, made quick work. But she's behind in the count 3-0 to Harper Quaid now, who takes that pitch low for ball 4. Bases loaded. And again, the runners on second and third at the moment don't really mean anything. But what this does now is that this creates a true force scenario at every base.
Yes.
So in the event that there's a dribbler in front of the plate or a ground ball right back to the circle here, they'll have a play at home. First pitch bounced in. Once again to Ava Page. Number 33, the third baseman, ball 1.
Yeah, Kenton's starting to have trouble just getting it over the plate.
Yep.
A lot of balls bouncing in. It's tiring pitching a full game, especially how this game has been going, but there she goes.
And that ball is going to be hit into center field. And that is going to drop. And with that, the winning run is going to come home from Maryland. It is off the bat of Ava Page. The winning run is scored by Blake Herbert. And the team from Maryland, from Hughesville, Maryland, will walk it off here in the major field. This final score will be 9-8. And they will advance to the next game here, which will start in approximately a half hour or so, maybe a little more, maybe about 45 minutes here after the break. As New York plays in the background. But it is Maryland here who wins on the bottom half of the 6th inning. Cam, how'd you like that for a first game?
I mean, what a game. We saw pitchers duel for 4 straight innings. Well, really 3. Once we got to the second half of the game, the bats were blazing, aggressive base running, plays being made in the field, energy high, momentum swinging back and forth. Maryland, Delaware, and in the end, Maryland takes it back for a walk-off win. What better way can you start a day?
So, with that, we will wrap this up here and we will hop off the broadcast again. Like I said, we will be back here in approximately a half hour or so. What we'll do here is we'll go on a couple of minutes before the start of the next game, and we'll provide, again, matchup context. We'll see who Maryland is playing. Again, assuming that they were the 4th seed, again, it's possible that they're playing that Pennsylvania team that went 3-0 in pool play. It's Pennsylvania. We got confirmation from Dave Pizzuto, who was on the senior minor field working the first game of the day. So it will be Maryland versus Pennsylvania. And in the other game, it'll be New York and New Jersey. The first cousins going at it.
Yes.
But with that, Cam, final thoughts.
Yeah, great day of softball, excuse me. A lot of good pitching on the circle. I got that right as well. But just a beautiful day. I mean, we saw great hitting. We saw great pitchers duel. And if teams can continue to keep the energy high, we got New York going. Knicks championship vibes here on this Tuesday morning. I think we're gonna see a lot of good softball.
We've already seen a really, really good game today.
Great first game.
And hopefully that continues throughout the rest of the day. So with
Yes,
that,
they set the standard.
So with that, I'm Joe Calabrese with my broadcast partner, Cam Williams. We thank you for joining us here. A little bit earlier start here on this Tuesday morning at Great Hills Little League. Your final score, Maryland 9, Delaware 8. Stick with us here on the PDF Sports Network. We'll be back in a half hour for the start of the coverage of our second game. And we thank you again. This has been coverage of the 10 and Under East Regional Softball Championships. Thank you for watching, and stick with us.